Welcome back to the Liquid Math channel, where we use AI-powered market analytics for crypto investors and to those who wish to learn about crypto market analytics. As of December 12, 2025, Zcash is trading near $454, sharply outperforming the broader crypto market. At the same time, the Fear and Greed Index sits at 29, meaning the overall market is still operating in fear. That contrast alone makes Zcash worth examining because while Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana sold off today, ZC moved decisively higher. Over the last 7 days, Zcash surged from roughly $330 to $454, a gain of over 37%. On December 11th, it briefly touched $468, its local high. But zooming out reveals something most traders miss, and that is that just 1 month ago, Zcash peaked near $733 on November 7th, before collapsing to $306 on December 3rd. That's a 58% drawdown in under a month, followed immediately by a violent rebound. This is not a calm uptrend, this is a regime flip from capitulation to momentum. And now let's look at Zcash from a few new angles. Angle number 1: relative strength while majors fall. Today's crypto tape was clearly risk-off. Ethereum fell 4.6%, Solana dropped nearly 3%, Bitcoin declined over 2%. Yet Zcash finished the day up more than 10%. This kind of divergence is rare. It often signals capital rotation into a specific narrative, rather than a broad market rally. In this case, ZEC is behaving like a story-driven asset, pulling capital while majors unwind. Angle number 2: Reddit euphoria inside a fearful market. On Reddit, sentiment around Zcash is relatively optimistic. Threads openly discuss $1,000 and even $3,000 price targets, with narratives about institutional adoption and long-term scarcity. But here's the key insight: that optimism exists inside a fearful macro environment. This mismatch often creates two-phase price behavior, a sharp impulse move, followed by a deep consolidation or pullback that tests conviction. Now let's look at the macro context and why this is happening now. Globally, markets are mixed. Equities in Europe and the UK are under pressure, crypto majors are selling off, but the Federal Reserve has already begun easing and silver remains structurally strong after record highs. Liquidity hasn't disappeared, it's just selective. That's exactly when rotation trades like Zcash tend to appear. And now let's look at the Liquid Math Market Pulse Index, LMMPI. The Liquid Math Market Pulse Index, LMMPI, is something that I created with the help of AI, and what it does is that it scores the coin from 0 to 100 based on price structure, sentiment, macro pressure, and hidden signals. 0 to 20 is extreme risk, which means panic conditions and a high crash probability. 21 to 40 is defensive zone, means that fear dominates. And there are only high-risk setups. 41 to 60 is neutral zone, which means that the market is undecided and choppy with mixed signals. 61 to 80 is constructive zone, which means that data favors continuation. This area holds the best risk-reward ratio. 81 to 100 is overheated zone, is strong trend but growing blow-off risk. Based on price structure, sentiment, macro conditions, and hidden signals, today's LMMPI score for Zcash is 55 out of 100. This reflects strong short-term momentum, clear relative strength, but extremely high volatility and instability. In other words, real opportunity, real risk. After the sharp move to $454, the data favors consolidation or a pullback before any sustainable continuation. The most probable scenario over the next 1 to 2 weeks is a retracement toward $420 to $380, and if that holds, a renewed attempt toward $470 to $500, and if it fails, the market often revisits the breakout zone around $330 to $350. The trend seems to have turned up, but it is not yet stable. All in all, Zcash is no longer asleep, but it is still volatile. This is what early-stage narrative rotation looks like: explosive, emotional, and unforgiving. This has been the Liquid Math. If you found value in this hidden signal breakdown, subscribe for LMMPI updates and data-driven crypto analysis that cuts through the noise.